Yo, I got something to show you. So I'm making a flip, a blue flip. Let's just check it out. We're gonna get into this. Yes, you know what it is. I want to show you guys how kind of arranged this, composed it. Then I'll make another video soon showing the sound design of the patches and everything. And I'll give a lot of the patches, you know, all the serum patches in my Patreon, so you guys can have all that. So go on my Patreon, become a member, and get all the goodies here soon. But I want to kind of show you guys like this layout and how I approached this flip, because it was with Melodyne and I did all kinds of cool chops with the original, and it was really fun. You know, I'm using notes from the original song. So like if you look at this first bass, it's a E flat and we're in G minor. So we're like using the original key and it all just links up really well. So we'll get into that. It's really cool. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More videos like this coming soon of breakdowns of a lot of the songs I'm working on. First off, we have all the original stems here. You know, I'll use melody.ml and I'll extract stems, and that's what these are. A lot of these are turned off. See how these are deactivated. The only one I'm using right now is track 6 right here. Don't pay attention to these. And we're at 130 beats per minute. So I relatively kept the same BPM and I made a dubstep song in 130. Basically, I'm usually in 140, but I didn't want to go 140 for this one.
I have a blue house with a blue window.
Having just the acapella here is really helpful, and I'm playing that acapella with this like bass line.
I have a blue house with a blue window. I have a blue house with a blue window.
So this section in the original, I also start to loop. I don't know if you hear, but all these effects start getting automated. I'm automating the shifter in freak mode to make it go phasery, just to add movement while this is looping, so it's not so boring. This is how I kind of transitioned from the original, because over here I'm just like playing the original, just like the house, and then I
have a blue house with a blue window.
Then I transition to like this new breakdown where I can then transition to dubstep. That's kind of the first part there. The bass line and the vocals and the original song. And that's about it. We get into the build up, which is all the claps, snares, and kicks. Obviously, we have some of this vocal playing too. And I can just kind of pick whatever I want for the pre-drop, you know, whatever's nostalgic. You can see vocals are here, so I experimented with vocals playing during the drop and not playing, but I kind of just left this one on the downbeat. I don't know if you hear the delay after the vocal, but it kind of continues and fills up that space. Then we have just like a regular trap beat. all the perkies. Add in all the rhythm and groove, you know? Haha. I chop up perk loops, add like percussion elements, zaps. Sometimes I'll put a lot of reverb on the perks so that we can add lots of atmosphere, you know, got delay and reverb. So you gotta have a groovy drum loop, you know what I'm saying? Anytime I'm writing, I'm always in 4-bar loops. So this is the first 4-bar loop here from 129 to 133. So we got call, right when the snare hits, response. Got a little fill. So within 2 bars, call, response, fill. Next 2 bars, we have basically a different call and response. And I added like a sub and just put erosion on it. So this is just a sub with erosion on it for like the call. Everything's flowing to the downbeats. So when the snare hits, it stops and the response plays. I'll be automating the rate. So like this is 1/8 triplet, goes down to half. So we're changing speeds as we flow through the song. Casually, naturally. So that's 4 bars right there. We got a lot of movement within 4 bars, you know, basically 2-bar sections of different basses. I'll basically use the same bass, right? I'll duplicate it and then make a variation of it. It sounds a little different. In Serum, there's a couple knobs like these wavetail positions or the cutoff on the filter where you could just change it a little bit and all of a sudden you have a brother or a sister for the original bass. Then you're creating the family. Now, next 4 bars is this. Now, these notes that I'm choosing here, they're not random. They're coming from all the information I got in Melodyne. I analyzed the vocals. I saw what he was singing. Melodyne gave me this information. So these are a lot of the notes that he was singing. So then when I start to make the bass line, I'm using these notes that I'm seeing here. I'm like prioritizing these. And by using those notes, things start to blend together very well. Everything feels like it's all flowing in harmony. Doing the same thing here, automating the rate, the speed. So I don't know if you noticed here, but we don't have two-bar sections anymore. We have a full 4-bar with the call right here. And then as soon as the snare hits, response rips through. When the last snare hits, it's like the fill section. And during fill sections, I'm always like sprinkling in these vocals from the OG track because that's how we can tie things in together and it's perfect. That's another one. Pitch down. Now I let this vocal like bleed through the next 4-bar section you see here. So we're going to go to the next 4 bars. Boom. And you'll see this vocal continues. So I'm using it now as like part of the call. So this is a really cool section. Now this next, so as you see, each 4 bars, I'm like changing it a little bit. We're still keeping the overall vibe and trying not to veer in too far of a different direction. But I want to keep changing it up and keep surprising the listener. So in this next 4 bars, we go halftime over here. Try to listen to this. So I'm chopping up the original instrumental, which is that one. And then I'm chopping up the vocals. So that's what you're hearing there. Then as soon as the halfway point comes, I add this new section. This is the halftime fun time. So It's the original instrumental with halftime on, and it feels so trippy, and it's just so sick. Listen in the full mix. Run it. As I'm listening to the song, it sounds a little bit muddy, so I'm going to probably continue to mix and master this before release and clean up any mud, any extra low mid frequencies hanging around. But that's that 4 bars. Then we have the next 4 bars. So we have a new bass introduced here during this halftime section. It's this boy. So in the last 4 bars, let's go back there real quick. I added this bass because before I added this bass, it was just empty like this. I was like, where's the funk? Where's the swag? So I added wubbers. Boom. This is the first bass where I go like high with it. Octave +4, we're doing sine waves, lots of PD from B. I'm trying to get a higher frequency to contrast all the lower frequencies I've been playing the whole song. And it worked well. And then I kind of add flow with it, change up the speeds, 1/8 T, 1/4 T, 1/4, and have them bounce, you know, just kind of catch a flow. And this will continue to the next 4 bars. So this phrasing is almost like a whole 8-bar phrase, right? How this bass continues. We have a fill at the end here for the last bar. We have lots of different types of phrases in here, but that's basically the first half of the drop right there. Because once we get to the next, so right here, that's the first half, the 16 bars that we just went over. The next is another 16 bars. And the next 16 bars, I basically do the same thing as the first 16. So I would like duplicate and then make variations and start changing things differently in this section. Because if it sounds repetitive at all, then that's when I'll want to make changes. During this half, though, I wanted to make a big enough change. So halfway through the second 16, I just let the original instrumental play and kind of go back into the melodics, go back into the original, and it feels almost like a melodic bridge into the breakdown. Check that. And that transitions well to the break. And then obviously I hand it off to Keat. Keat takes the reign and he starts writing the second drop. I help him finish it, and then we get something like this. Hold up. Second drop, Keat wrote some brand new basses. We only do 16 bars here. Halfway through the 16, we do that melodic bridge I was talking about because it just feels so good every time. And we keep it simple, you know, just close the song. I'll close that song. That is fun doing these flips, you know, using Melodyne, finding the notes, really important. Being able to use those notes is gonna make a difference. There is one thing I didn't show you, that a trance gate during the vocals will be turning on sometimes, and it sounds like this. So I'm adding that stutter. Cool, so remember, 4-bar loops, catching a flow, call response, having things talk to each other back and forth, mixing and mastering as we go. We're using Pro L a lot all the time to pump up the jam. So like on the mids group, for example, the Pro L here, we'll be pulling things up just to help us get to the level we want, because we want to be able to play this like at a festival. So we are trying to reach like -6 LUFS around there, ideally, you know, or louder. We're pulling in -7.5 right here, so that's, you know, decent, pretty fun song. Lots of flips coming soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. I will do more of them, and if you want any special videos, put them in the comments. I'd be happy to put them on the list of things I'll do next. Have a great holidays. Have a great holidays. Peace.